Okay, hi, hello, welcome to the Daily Tarot Buffet brought to you by Vertex of Abundance. My name is Serene Priestess of Blosi. I'll be your oracle today. I was sent to deliberate the findings for the transiting moon into Scorpio. If you're new, welcome. If you're returning, welcome back. It's a delight and an honor and a privilege to serve. Thank you for allowing me the pleasure to do so. If anything resonates deeply with you, go ahead and like, comment, share, subscribe, leave a review, book the session, send a note. You belong to Welcome Home. Vertex of Abundance is the galactic temple of ascension, delivering sacred messages from behind the veil. Today, we will be imposing the guidance from Thought Tarot. It's by Aleister Crowley, illustrated by Lady Frida Harris, published by US Game Systems. We'll also be deliberating any findings, especially clarifying pairing energy, which is multiples, like a pair of this, a triple this, la-di-da, yada-yada, from the minor arcana of the Cosmic Coven Tarot, and that's by Lisa Lazenby over at Ripe Avocado. We'll also be clarifying and deliberating the findings for any type of corresponding or correlative energy from the Daily Oracle Vita Sibila over at Los Scarabeo. Let's begin. We're going to go ahead and cast the descending energy. We have a secured message in that regard. So we'll continue forward trying to get another secured message for the, well, that's the ascending energy. Okay, hold on. It's actually a petition. So it's interesting. We're standing up to meet something in court. What kind of court? I don't know. Fours are court cards in terms of coming before the throne, coming before the seat, standing before the bench, the bar. Now, during Cancer season, Scorpio is a fifth house event. So whatever's transiting Scorpio will be a fifth house event. This event specifically that we're talking about here today is a lunation. That's a lunar event, a moon event. So increased insight, intuition according to fifth house. That's drive, desires, passions, motivations, especially when it comes to, you know, the love we give ourselves and others, where we go to play. It may be our true self barreling out, barreling forward. And also it's something that's formulating or formative, meaning it's an expression or progression from the formative years. We're no longer in a childhood stage, we're leaving adolescence. We're about to form our mature self. So typically it's where we go to play, the love we give ourselves and others. It can be some speculative energy. It can be anything from getting the first of something, the first relationship off the ground, getting our first mortgage, our first home, our first job, completing some type of, you know, proficiency degree. Typically it's a bachelor's or trade school. There's also other energy there as well. Our divine self, our good karma, we call that the Dharmic house. What we were kind of born with in terms of luck, in terms of grace. And again, it is very much part of what we call the Dharma Trikon, which is the fire energy. It's the duty upon our life according to the gift and really the energy infused into our life force. Okay, prana, ashe, all that. So the first, fifth, and ninth house are all drive, desires, passions, and motivations. This embodies our drive, desires, passions, motivations in terms of where we're expanding the love we give ourselves and others, our true, authentic, genuine self, not in the sense of moksha, what we are in heaven, but what we're cultivating and what we are deliberating here upon the earth. So there can be things like we're finishing something, we're starting a project. It also can be like, oh, we see something that we like, whether it's something that we want to compete for or something that we want to get off the ground, like a romantic energy. And it is very generous and, you know, gregarious. So there's a lot of just good vibes and good feelings here. And if there is any type of inimical energy, It typically comes out in one of two ways. Something doesn't like the light that we carry, whatever energy, entity, ideology, this something, okay, whatever is mirroring us or opposing us. Or it could be that there's something being repelled. There's, discordant and non-harmonic energy because we're not actually quite aligned with the path that we need to be on. So this energy that I'm talking about, fifth house energy, is going to manifest in a scorpionic way since we're in the Cancer season. So it's going to get deep. It's going to get blunt. It's going to get even sometimes brutal, especially if we fight or attack it in a way that's inauthentic, disingenuous, insincere. Especially if there's things hiding out in the shadow, because in the fifth house, literally, it's the house of where we come out to play. So it's going to be most difficult if we're hiding from ourselves. Okay. And then the secondary difficulty might be because I'm just going to say it like this: we may meet our enemies on not the battlefield, seventh and eighth house, but the playing ground. So people that seem like healthy competition, if it gets any more victorious on our end, people can turn, people can shift, people can change. I'm hearing the HEAUX word. Some people might turn on us. And it's in this area, it's very particular to Capricorn and Cancer season where people just suddenly turn, people just suddenly shift up on us. Um, so we may be a little bit perplexed over the next couple of days because we're going to have different feelings or different insight into situations that have been the same for some time. Scorpio is a long-seated enemy. It's not quick. It's not sudden. Now, yes, things can appear in the manifest form suddenly, but there always have been some type of impetus, even if it was a karmic cause that was made at a distant future or a recent future, even in a past lifetime. It may appear on the surface to be sudden, but it's always been long seated. It's been under the surface, scorpionic. It's been hiding beneath the surface for a minute. All right. So let's get in here, fit in here, and see what we've got going on. Again, if anything resonates deeply with you, go ahead and smash that like button. And just a little bit of housekeeping. If the reading goes a little bit too long, a little bit too slow, you can increase the playback speed. It's somewhere in the video playback settings, depending on the device that you're on or the platform that you're at. Now, it won't actually change what the duration says, but since you're playing up to twice as fast, you still will be reducing the actual length of the video up to 1/2, even if it doesn't change what the time says. And then if you are interested in the summary, there will be a link to the summary somewhere in the show notes between the Hamsa hands, usually, not always, depending on circumstances. Okay, so we have the Wheel of Fortune and the Chariot card. Okay, so this is a destined victory. So wherever we're going to, whenever we're coming out to play, we have the Ace of Wands and the Six of Wands clarifying the Chariot. So there is some creative in the beginning here. We do have some idea that we're getting off the ground. Wherever we're coming out to play, it's going to happen. It's going to work. Yay for us. I love it. Excuse me. I don't mean to be so perky, but no, I just love this energy. I love this for us. I love it. 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 So that's good. Good, good, very good. No, there's not a big timing indicator, but both the Chariot and the Six of Wands talk about victory, talk about moving on, moving forward. Now, the Six of Wands typically talks about a trial, not always a tribulation, but there's something we have to kind of strive for. We have to kind of exert ourselves for, and oftentimes it can be receiving our flowers. We're getting kind of rewarded in public, or the victory is public, and it also can be some type of seat. Now, it's an exalted seat, it's an exalted status. So whatever we're doing is going to add some kind of, snazzy or elite aspect to our life or to our story or to whatever narrative that we're going on. Now, where we're coming from is the Wheel of Fortune. The Wheel of Fortune with the Il Carro, the Chariot, is a destined victory. Yeah, and so it's just beginning, and it is also heaven sent. It's ordained by the divine. Dress is the name. I've been hearing a lot of Sylvan Esso lately. Well, that's just feel good vibes, and it's also a quiet rebellion. It's like the inner self, the authentic self, finally coming out to the surface. And that's just the thing. We also don't need permission to be ourselves, to be who we are, to be what we're about. We might have had a season, a distant future, a recent, I mean, a distant past, a recent past, where we were not really fitting into the space that we were in, or people were putting labels, misattribution, mislabel, misjudged, misperceived. They weren't seeing our true, genuine, authentic self. We might not have even been our authentic, genuine, sincere self. And in the near future, that is going to actually appear. Our authentic self is going to come out to play. And in the distant future, we're going to have a different life than what appears now. We're laying the groundwork for a glow up, and it's not one of those that could be blocked or usurped or whatever, because as we align with what we are, who we are, and what we're about, our life is going to reflect that in a way that's unshakable. And we've put enough contemplation, investigation into this. I'll talk about that in a moment. Yeah, there was a time when we were dealing with a lot of delays, but the people around us are going to feel delayed now because they're not able to access, they're not able to interface with us in a way that normally was effective. Now, who we are, what we're about is shining outward, but it's always been there. It's going to seem sudden to somebody, but that's a person that might have been benefiting on our brokenness, or they might have, known us better when we were kind of on the back end or behind on our timeline. But now that we're catching up and moving forward, they're not going to know what to do with that, because we are moving forward and we're leaving something behind. Comings and goings always with the chariot. It could be from a phase, it could be from a former self, it could be from a lower self, la di da, yada yada, whatever, what have you, so on and so forth. But there is actual movement. It first happens internal in terms of a preparation, and then it proceeds to external in terms of manifestation. That's just how that's going to be and what it is. So let me talk to you a little bit more about this. I see we have the Page of Cups with the Four of Cups. Now, the Page of Cups, Four of Cups combination together means feeling detached. Okay, so something could be lukewarm, placid, tepid. Something manifestations at the threshold here with the threshold, Four of Cups manifestation, transition, destiny, calling on our life, etc. is here with the calling on our life, Six of Wands with the Wheel of Fortune, but Wheel of Fortune, Four of Cups threshold manifestation with the Wheel of Fortune. Something is about to happen, something's about to pop, something's about to hit. And it's Fanchula here, virginity. It doesn't always mean chastity, it could just mean inexperience, something new with that amore, that Cupid's arrow before. It is new. But again, this is something that we're ripe and ready for. It's going to seem new to everybody, but to us, it's not. Now, somebody here is a Capricorn rising, or they could also just be some type of Venus in the fourth or seventh house. It's most likely not us. And if it is us, there's another energy in the environment surrounding location. It might be a person, place, or thing that's hitting that energy in our chart. So it's still, yeah, and I just got a horn of confirmation outside. And it's getting hot suddenly, so let me address that. Yeah, for crying out loud, she said it. For crying out loud, she meant it. It's going to seem like a hurricane. There's going to be some storms coming through, pulling through, because not everybody's going to be in alignment with the changes that we're making for our life. But again, like somebody's going to be minding our business. It costs absolutely nothing to keep your mouth shut. It's free. So, okay, let's leave that alone. Um, Moving on. So now we have the Nine of Pentacles, Five of Swords, clarifying the Hermit, which is that's what I was talking about. The interference, the attitude, the haterade, the blockages. It's crabs in a bucket, bottom of the barrel kind of energy. Petty, ordinary, common, basic people that can't get bigger, brighter, and better. Because we're already in an exalted position, and now the fight comes after the fact. Because we've had to come up, they weren't involved with it. We've had to come up, we're going to change up on them. We've had to come up, there's a little bit haterade, jealousy, whatever, what have you, it's ego. It's a karmic lesson for them. Because over the last few weeks, 2, 3 weeks, we've been investigating the depths of the soul. We've been doing something either behind the scenes in secret, and it could be learning. There could be some kind of teaching, and it's self-study with the Nine of Pentacles and the Hermit card. Somebody here could have their Venus in Virgo, and it's most likely here. It, it again, matching energy. So now we have a big promising future, and somebody wasn't involved in our come up, but now they're going to scheme and think about what we can do to help them in the future, but they weren't supporting us to how we got. Believe it or not, and it might not be evident up until we have that moment of come up, but there were times when they left us feeling some kind of way on the precipice of tears. It was definitely displeasurable and hurtful, dispiacere. Cause we took refuge, hermit. We went and turned within and found soul's wisdom to learn about our authentic, genuine self. We actually became adept. We found acumen in this authentic self. And we needed to do that swiftly because there's some type of internal judgment we needed to impose upon our own self. We needed to find, standards and boundaries in the sense of what was tolerable, acceptable, whatever, what have you. There might have been an opportunity within ourselves or something about our own nature that we had to seize and execute. The nature is often reflected in the Queen of Cups. That's authenticity, genuineness, and sincerity. The Queen has become adept in something. Typically, they have acumen when it comes to their authentic self. And then it is about self-worth and value because the Empress is present. It's also about high worth, high value, and also deservedness. We deserve bigger, brighter, and better, whatever, what have you. It wasn't being honored or accepted or nurtured or appreciated or acknowledged. And we weren't going to sit there and beg for love, beg for attention, beg for acknowledgement, beg for respect. We were going to go wherever that was. And so now there's just been an energy that was supporting us, but they weren't supporting our highest. So that means we might just leave them at a lower vibration or a former vibration. It's not necessarily a good or bad thing. Lower vibration, high vibration isn't always bigger, brighter, and better, or better than, less than. It's just approximate location. If a person's at level 3, they can recognize level 3. But if a person's at level 9, they can recognize level 3 and level 9, but level 3 cannot recognize level 9. So I feel like a morning star, and then we have Venus here. So we are emerging, nurturing, and creative. We've put time, energy, effort, and attention. We've cultivated something right in front of everybody, but they weren't able to perceive because real recognizes real, like recognizes like. Maritata here, there was some false love, fake nurturing. They were benefiting from our brokenness, and I don't necessarily always mean bad, but our unhealed self was working for them, and our healed self isn't going to be working for them. Or said differently, it's going to take some time to acclimate. It's going to take them some time to get into it. Now, this might be something that we started a few weeks ago. We've been having to make some changes. We have the Sun card clarified by the Six of Swords, Seven of Swords. So we've been doing something, getting something off the ground, handling up on whatever, however, so on and so forth. We've been making some type of moves to ease our access or our clearance or our way through something. The Sun card is growth, expansion, vitality, renewal, reinvigoration. It's also the enumeration of a solution. And then we have the Six of Swords, Seven of Swords. So we might have had to move in secret, move in private, move sideways. We might have had to have some type of tactic, strategy, cunning here because there were binding energies or terms and conditions. We might have had to level up and qualify. And until something was ready, we might not have wanted to share out loud. There is an energy here that's going to feel some kind of way about it, however, because I'm hearing and I'm seeing somebody say okay, well, put it this way. They feel left out, abandoned, withheld, or stripped of something. But honestly, the way that this energy is coming, Seven of Swords with the Five of Pentacles, they were benefiting from our brokenness or unhealed or unawakened self. I'm just going to say it like that. Now, the Seven of Swords isn't as bad here, but succeeding what I had previously said, that when we have our come up, when we have our boss up, when we have our glow up, there's going to be this energy that says something, that we wouldn't know retroactively what was going on until we had that moment where we're different. And that's when we'll see that we were left out in the cold, even though we weren't alone. That we were living in exile simply because there was an energy in our environment that recognized something about us or knew about a higher place that we could have been going to or been at and never said nothing. It's a spiritual version of having, toilet paper on your shoe or spinach in your teeth, and nobody said anything. Not to our face, at least. And they're going to be offended or agitated or angry or hurt or whatever or what have you, that we've been moving in secret using cunning strategy tactic all the same. But it's supposed to be that way. And when the Seven of Swords is there with the moon, things are actually happening in the light of day. And that you can't leave a receipt for too long. It will show. Yeah, so remember I said you can fast forward the playback sometimes, because not fast forward, but increase the playback speed. Because sometimes if I go silent, I'm getting a download, I'm hearing a narrative or stuff. And I know, I've worked in hosting before, radio even. I know that dead silence is kind of harmful. I'd rather hear the narrative because it gives me an extra dimension. It's a switch, though. I get a little nervous if the silence goes for too long, because I know that's harmful when you're recording. But I'm hearing a narrative. Somebody's going to get hurt, and it's two-pronged, it's two-sided, it's twofold. One, we recognize that they've known that we could have been doing something different than we're doing, and they left us kind of behind, even though they're standing right next to us, which after we process, we'll discover this person, this HEAUX, has been benefiting from me unhealed, unawakened, or broken. And then they're going to turn around and act offended or be hurt when we moved in secret, used cunning strategy tactic to level ourselves up. It could be anything: working on a degree, working on a license, doing something where now we have more. We could have just applied for a new role or new position, or got a new house or apartment or something. And then we have the come up where we announce, oh, homecoming, or, I'm housewarming, or, hey, now I'm a this, or now I have this degree or certification or license. And then they're all butthurt because we didn't let them know. Meanwhile, the whole time they were thinking that we could have been making more money, or we could have been dating, or we could have changed this about ourselves, or we could have opted into this opportunity or that little come up. That's what I'm getting. That's what the narrative was about. It's saying that something will be revealed in a week, and at least for the next week, we do need to kind of be secret. Now we have the Three of Swords, Eight of Cups, clarifying the Hierophant. So that is leveling up in some way, but usually it comes with like a body or some type of organized way. I don't know what it is particularly here, because it's mirrored by the devil card. So that could be corruption, it could be broken vows, it could be broken oaths, but it also could just be getting some type of power position because there is something here that negates this devil. It lessens its energy. Okay, well, maybe not so much. The negation has been negated. So, Three of Swords with the devil is kind of, oh, hi, baby. I'm sorry. Um, the Three of Swords kind of negates the devil because it says that there's some pretty difficult or strong conditions or things to overcome. There might be a barrier or two to overcome, and this is going to be exhaustive or tedious or monotonous or taboo. That's what the devil and the Three of Swords mean. However, when the Seven of Pentacles is present, especially confirmed by the Eight of Pentacles, that might mean that there is some kind of energy stacked against us, and it might be intentional. With the double eight here, I'm catching a little bit of baneful energy. And let's have a look. Page of Swords. So we might have a spy, somebody scrutinizing, observing us, sneaking around, collecting information. And they might be, reporting back to a group. It could be a family person that talks a bunch of smack. Because honestly, they would benefit more if our road would close, if we weren't having a come up, or they are of an opposing mind. Two of Swords, not on the same page, of an opposing mind, blocked road, sealed out. The narrative that they have is different than the narrative that we have, and we're less aware of that than they are. That's what this pair of eights means. So, a pair of eights could mean time and indulgences, it could mean manipulation, it could mean ruminating, oscillating, vacillating. It could also mean spell work. With the devil, it's one of the three cards that I don't like to see with the triple eight or double eight. And then the devil with the Hierophant means broken oaths, broken vows, or corruption. What I'm detecting is that there's some type of narrative that serves everybody that puts us in a lesser than or a weaker than position. That us having a come up or whatever is not what people want to see. For the last 6 weeks, there's been some situation organized against us, whether intentional or just systematic, that was benefiting us for the last 6 weeks, 3 fortnights, Three of Swords with the Hierophant. There's been some organized Hierophant system or structure against us, Hierophant, Three of Swords, that was operating on us being on the out. Seven of Pentacles with the devil means that a week ago, something started working, shifting, changing. We might have been falling into alignment because we definitely withdrew our energy from something. 6 weeks ago, we started to withdraw our energy from something. And now, about a week ago, we started working towards something that we're dealing right now with the devil that we know versus the devil that we don't know. We might be in a sunken place or in a difficult place, in a dark place. We have now the Ten of Cups clarifying. I didn't check those broken vows. The Ten of Cups and the Eight of Cups clarifying the Hangman. But let me talk to you about the Hierophant with the Devil right quickly. Yeah, there was a maturation on our side. We got up and got out of something that was conspired to believe that we wasn't know nothing. we got to this place, this sacred place that somebody thought we were always going to be on the outside, where we were always just going to be taking scraps. There was an energy that benefited off thinking that they were better than us or whatever. I don't know what that looks like. It wasn't really mirrored in that way. It talked about us coming through a situation, us leveling up, us doing the thing to get the thing, being the thing to become the thing. And this other side was just in the dark energy. They were a little bit less than anything. I'm gonna say it like that, meaning there's four elements here when you're using dark magic. And dark people think dark magic is summoning the devil. The devil is a law that exists in the universe, and the devil might come under you when there's some type of purification and cleansing you need to go through. And oftentimes happens in bondage or bad karma. That's really where the devil comes into play. Because other than that, the devil rules over fear, ignorance, illusion, or falsities. And that's actually the energy people need to use in order to do dark magic. And dark magic doesn't always mean like abracadabra, hocus pocus, brujeria, santeria. Three people caddy that gossip about us at a water cooler or at a family function. That's dark magic if they're saying lies. It's witchcraft all the same if they're just talking about us with no lies. So, dark magic is a spectrum. It has unintentional over here, evil, sinister, malignant, malicious over here, and in the middle is this miserly and bitter. Okay. So I don't know. This is kind of general. But what I do know is that we're coming out to play. Our true, authentic, genuine self is emerging. We've been working on ourselves on the inside, coming through, pulling through, leveling up, having to come up. But it's all kind of personal victory. It's kind of us working on ourselves. And now the world is starting to reflect this back, or there's the inkling and the drop and the drip drop of this about to blossom and spurt. Even though we've underneath the surface of the soil, we've been planting and ruminating and germinating and all of that. Something's going to feel some kind of way. We've been building in the background, hangman. We've been sitting in some kind of perspective. We found what we needed to align with, the thing that's going to give us perpetual contentment going forward. And now the gate is opened up, Ace of Cups, for that to begin to, matriculate through the material. We're being prepared for some type of practical skill. With it, it's going to bring a transition. There might even be some type of Scorpio rising or Venus in the second house, Venus in the seventh house. So we're nurturing the thing that we need to nurture in order to have place and space in the world. We might become a professional at something, whether it's in skill or in licensure, accreditation. And I'm hearing the words media, academia, accreditations, testimonials. That's one of the credibility indicators of the new millennium. I'm going to leave it there. So this other side, whenever this come up happens, they're going to have whatever energy is mirroring this here. It's going to have some type of depression, melancholia. It's going to feel like it's delayed. It's not going to be happy for us. In fact, it's going to be a little bit of a hater. They're going to experience some type of jealousy or despair. I don't know what this is. Let's not continue on this vein. I hope they get their blessings and their healing. We'll say a quick prayer for them. In fact, let me say it right now. God is divine. Allah Buddha Shekinah Jehovah. Allah Papa Bandiyo. For all those still lost out there, to illusion, delusion, confusion, lost in the seas of time, trapped somewhere in the matrix, yet to heal, yet to awaken, yet to return to the resplendent grace of the divine, unconditional love, and universal oneness. We love them. We're sorry. Please forgive us. Thank you. We ask that our steps be ordered, our path be illuminated, and that we find salvation and redemption in this life. May we be well. May we be happy. May we be whole. May we be at peace. May we receive everything we ever wanted, starting with what we deserve. Blessings to everyone's healing and their ultimate awakening in this life or the next. Peace be upon you. So when we have the Death card and the Hangman. Ultimately, my dear, I got to tell you, it's an impasse. It's an impasse. It's an impasse. Yeah. Because the world as they know it is going to shift and change. They're going to have to figure things out. They're going to have to make it work in a different way. They're going to need to find a narrative. And there is some kind of entitled energy here. It's rigid, it's pervasive. Who knows if it's maladaptive? They may get with the program, but they go hard. They go hard at their disbelief. They go hard at their shock. They go hard at their support. Whatever they do, they go hard. Costanza. 10 toes down kind of hard. Okay. I'm hearing the word rock steady, but I'm hearing the B-52 song Rock Lobster. So that's a little bit that clashes. Because in Rocksteady, love is like a punishment. Homegirl here to represent. Some of these things just happen. Sometimes this is just the way the wind blows. But other times, people love you. They want to see the best for you, but they don't know who you are anymore or really authentically below the surface. And they really, what that means is they don't know how to support. And some people don't have a refined attending voice. They don't have a refined skills of attending, so they don't really know what to say. Hey, I support you. I don't know how to help you, but I'm here cheering you on over here. That's a healthy, evolved way. Sometimes they need to parrot what to do or how to do, and they don't know, they don't feel, and when they don't feel involved in our success, they feel ostracized or excluded. And that's ego or a lack of healing, a lack of awareness, a lack of awakening. This even happens when the person means well. Okay. So we have the Queen of Swords here with the Justice card, which means somebody, probably not us, is a Libra moon. They could also have their moon in the seventh house, or they could be some type of Cancer rising. I'll start here though with the World card clarifying, or excuse me, the Queen of Swords, Two of Cups clarifying the World card. So in 2 weeks or so, we're going to begin to have some type of completion. We're going to start to make the rounds of something being up a certain full circle. We're going to have some kind of cycle in from a transition. It's going to be a transition point. Something's going to be over, which is not being our authentic self, because something's going to either be performative in a way that's really masking their ego, or something's going to show itself, which is going to be the envy and the jealousy. And it looks like the world is burning down, but actually it's the solution coming. Somebody finally unmasking themselves is going to be the solution coming. And it doesn't need to be evil McEvil, dirty McDirty, sinister McSinister. It doesn't need to be low down, dirty, and just vicious. It could just be that somebody doesn't know how to really show up. You really can't hold heart space with them. We might be putting them in our inner circle when they need to be on the periphery. Let people move how they move. Sometimes we need to move out of the way. Sometimes we need to act accordingly. We might have thought they were a completely green light when really they're a yellow light or a blue light, you know. Some people are in the wrong little group, but they can still be in the circle. They're just not in our inner circle. Because we're going to need standards and boundaries. We're going to need intellect, reason, and communication. The Queeness needs. The Swords is opposing energy. And again, there's love here. So we might be estranged from somebody. There might be an austerity to somebody that we're close to. And it's because we're having a come up. We had the glow up already. Now we have the come up. meaning the quality, the condition, and the station of our life is going to change, and it may be the beginning of said change. So the way that that looks like, if it is still delayed, it is not manifesting yet, is that we come out of some cycle that we've been in where we were unaware. Now we have clarity. Now we have Queen of Swords discernment, because clarifying this alignment or this karma is the Queen of Wands with the Ace of Pentacles. So when you see the Queen of Swords, here's the Queen of Wands. Bigger, brighter, and better. They need to win. They need to compete. They need to win. It's an ego thing. They need affection, adoration, appreciation, acknowledgement, attention, ultimately. And normally the Queen of Wands is celebrated because of the vibration and their leadership abilities. But sometimes they just need you to be on that lower vibrational fawning all over them. Sometimes it's not the healthiest thing, because not only do we have Cancer rising here, but we have Capricorn rising. So the axis between Cancer and Capricorn is the world card axis. So we're having a level up. We have the Eight of Cups recently too, which means stratification. Something's happening where, what is going to happen in 2 weeks? Yeah, our gates are opening up for us, M&A. We're working. We're going to have some contentment, some happiness. I want to move on, but there's a combination here. So we're going to be excited, and it's going to shift quickly. We're putting something to bed. Whatever, whatever karma we've been working through, we're going to put it down and put it to rest. We're going to come out of some cycle. Somebody thought we were going to stay stuck on stupid or stay plain or stay ordinary or stay boring or stay basic or whatever, what have you, something stupid like that. And um, it's just not like that. That's how it is in their mind. That's what they need the narrative to be, the narrative to be, for them to accept the reality with us, or however they perceive it, whatever that is, however that is. I'm gonna leave that to them and themselves. Peace to your healing, baby. Hope you work that out. We have a double queen here as well. That can mean competition. It's the Ace of Cups. So we are getting the promise of our heart's desires here. We're being put in a position where we can provide unconditional love. That means we're fully actualized. Our soul is fully present in our physical form. We've gone through all the emotional and the karmic awakening, and we've purified our karma. There's some creative new beginning here where there's something that somebody wants us to give them. They want us to give them access to us in some kind of way. They need us to be this thing for them. They might need us to be the scapegoat. They might need us to be lame. They might need us to be broken. They might need us to not be doing better than them. They might need us for something, and that's how they're interacting with us. Yeah, there's something here that's kind of shady or starts or just sneaky. Seven of Swords. Page of Swords clarifying the Star card. Page of Swords. Clarifying the Star card. Page of Swords, King of Cups, clarifying the Star card. There's also the Seven of Wands and the Three of Pentacles, clarifying the High Priestess. So the Death card came out, and now the High Priestess came out. We're done with the reading. I'll read this hand, and then we'll conclude. Because over the next 3 months, something is going to scrutinize us before they come into acceptance of this come up that we've had in our life. Okay? So we had a level up, a boss of a glow up, and something's going to be going through the 5 stages of grief for about 3 months. So the first stage of grief is doubt. So until they reach acceptance of grief, they're actually mourning because they're going to go through a loss. Who we were, what they knew us to be, has been dead. We killed that person. That former part of ourselves, they had to be put away. We had to come have a level up, a grow up, maybe an ego death. We probably survived some kind of dark night of the soul in the distant past that led us to making a change in the recent past that's going to completely impact our life in the near future. Okay, I'm just going to say it like that. Because we have Page of Swords, Star card, which means somebody here may be a Leo rising. Most likely us, this is our energy over here. There may also be, if it's not a Leo rising, it could be Venus in the 11th house or 7th house, which means that it's part of our agreement with the universe to have this come up to do this thing that we're doing. It's the calling on our life, our destiny. And again, this is going to be catastrophic, disastrous to whomever we're attached to. There's some kind of energy here that don't want to see us get on, get along. They don't want to see us do better, do brighter, be bigger. They want to see us low down and out. And this is the energy I'm getting right now. Whatever it is, they don't want to see us fully on our path because they're concerned we're going to leave them behind. And like I said, it's going to take them about 3 months to mourn and to move into the final stage of grieving. So the first stage is doubt. The second stage is anger. The third stage is bartering, begging even. The fourth stage is depression, and the fifth stage is acceptance. So when you move through all the 5 stages to acceptance, that's actually when you grieve for the rest of your life. The first 4 stages of grieving is actually considered mourning, because mourning is when you're dealing with the reverb, like your life is different. You might not be able to recapture. Some believe that you always carry grief, and I agree as well. Grieving isn't so much about not feeling what you feel anymore; it's about learning how to live with it. But the first 4 stages of grief is acclimating to this new reality that something is permanently lost. Sometimes a limb gets hacked off. Sometimes you lose a person. Sometimes you have an inevitable shift in your life. You might survive a catastrophe. You might now be a refugee or a trauma survivor or whatever. The first 4 stages of grief is considered mourning in my book. It's going to take them 3 months, 3 of Pentacles with the High Priestess. They're going to sit there and process, and they're going to sit there and watching us, observing us, scrutinizing us, Page of Swords, for about 3 months. 3 of Pentacles with the High Priestess. I keep hearing Hangman. So they have to surrender and sacrifice. They have to let go. They can't hold on. Let go or get dragged. And the 7 of Wands with the High Priestess means over the last week, they've been scrutinizing us. Over the next 3 months, they're going to come to love us. They're going to come to accept us. And this is the calling on our life. We have to make this shift. We have to make this change. And it's going to disappoint some people, and it's going to bring out things that we don't necessarily like or agree with. It's going to deliver information. It's going to show us a few things, and we're going to get some kind of paperwork. some kind of documentation as well here, because we're going to become what's called an official person. So this very much has to deal with either some kind of degree, license, or if it isn't any of those things, we're going to have something verifiable afterwards, some kind of result, some type of receipt. And this energy is coming from a person that loves us very much if we're dealing with anybody. Because if we're not, we're dealing with a voice in our head that wants to remain secret because we're making a big change. So it's been an honor and a privilege and a pleasure to serve. Thank you for allowing me to do so. We already said the dedication and mail, the closing prayer. Take good care of yourself. We'll see you in the next one, okay? Smash that like button. Bye-bye.